Hi, Junior with today's thought, and today we're going to be wading into the weeds a little bit, the economic weeds. I'll be giving you some facts and figures, so I hope you'll bear with me because it really does matter. It really is important. Now, just to do a quick recap, when Trump left office, the first day, Biden's first day that he took office, the economy was growing at 6%. The inflation rate was 1.4%, and the average price of gasoline for this great nation of ours was a tad over $2.40, I think $2.41, something like that. Where I live outside of Memphis, it had gotten down all the way to $1.86 a gallon. So that's what happened when that was the state of play when Biden took office. Now, after he took office, there was I forget the exact title, the Recovery Act or the Rescue Act that was passed, which was just basically a spending bill, and after that, the Inflation Reduction Act that was supposed to reduce the inflation that was caused by the Recovery Act. And now, and since then, inflation went up more, which is another spending bill. And this is what our Democratic friends do very often. They'll name a bill, they'll give it a name that indicates the opposite of what the bill actually does in order to get, so the media can bash Republicans for not passing a bill based on what the bill actually does, but based on a narrative and a title that's the exact opposite. Okay, don't want to get off in those weeds for today. I just want to stick with unemployment or employment. So just about every month, this has been going on for over a year at least. Every year, every month, we've been getting positive employment figures. They come out on the first Friday of every month, and then it gives you the number for the month before. In every case, I mean, we see like 200,000 jobs created for every month. So I don't know how many, at least 12 consecutive months, and I think it's actually more like 24, 2 years of consecutive months. You can double check me, put in the comments if I'm wrong, give me the exact number of months. But the next month would come along, and you'd get a new positive number, while the number reported in the previous month for the month before, that would be revised downward. This has been happening over and over and over, but of course the current number is what gets touted and reported in the media, especially the mainstream legacy pro-Democrat media. So, and they kind of just conveniently ignore what happened, that the previous figure was revised down. So that's the situation that we are in today. The number just came out for July. This is second day of August that I'm recording this. It's Friday, and the first Friday of the month, so the new numbers came out. This is for July, and you're seeing it obviously on Monday after the weekend. So first of all, the number reported for June was 206,000 jobs. That was reported on the first Friday of July. That has now been revised down again for at least 12, and I'm sure many more consecutive months. The 206,000 jobs was revised down to 179,000 jobs. Now we get to the new figure that just came out today, Friday. That these are the new numbers. So this is, they got a little problem here, the administration, because they've been reporting these optimistic, positive numbers and having to revise them down. The reason they are going to have a little bit of a problem this time is the anticipation. Now remember, the number that for the previous month was initially 206,000, then it was revised down to 179,000. So what they were hoping would another positive number that would get revised down, and then people would forget by time August, the first Friday of August comes along, and they're reporting on this month. September. Well, I don't want to get off on a trend. The next figure would be would be optimistic, and then it would revise the July numbers down from what they are. But here's the problem. When we put up the chart, this is the number that just came out today: 114,000 jobs created. That is significantly less. Never mind that, well, they were expecting, the consensus, the conventional wisdom was about 185,000 jobs created. 114,000 jobs, that is a lot less than 185,000, and a lot less than even the downwardly revised figure of June of 179,000. And now you look at the last unemployment number, the unemployment rate had ticked up to 4.1%, but now you're seeing the new number, and that new number is 4.3%. And as you can see in the slide that you're looking at there at the bottom, recession fears rising. We were worried about inflation only a few weeks ago, right? And whether the Fed would be able to lower rates. Now suddenly they're talking about a recession just as we're going into an election in November. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Fed does, because on the one hand, they don't want to seem political by suddenly reducing interest rates. But they're in a pickle too, the Fed. So they may reduce interest rates to prevent a recession, but then you're going to cause inflation. The inflation number will come up, and well, you see, it's a double-edged sword. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I'll throw in a little bit of more news here. Intel, the giant tech company, Intel, they are laying off 15,000 employees. 15,000 employees. They are suspending their dividend, and they are only going to they're going to focus on only essential work. Now, part of this, honestly, to be fair, at least part of this is because they're inefficient. They may be inefficient, not doing so well against NVIDIA or AMD, other high-tech companies, other chip makers. So that could be part of it, but still 15,000, that is not good in an economy that we may be heading into. Now, let me put up just one more chart. This chart is showing what jobs were created and what jobs were lost out of the 114,000. As you can see, the top creations were healthcare, government, leisure and hospitality, and some construction jobs, but mostly healthcare, government, leisure, and hospitality. Healthcare and government is basically just government, because the government has so many fingers in the healthcare pie. So that you're basically talking to government. So a lot of the jobs that we are getting, they are government jobs, just at a time when Intel is laying off people. Why is our government not laying off people? They should not be hiring more. They should be hiring less and even laying people off. But then you look at where the jobs have gone down. Transportation and warehousing and information. Now, transportation and warehousing, that is especially important because we all know the Dow Jones Index, but there's another index, the Dow Transportation Index. And why that matters if you have transportation jobs going down, because that is an indicator of economic health, because you have, when a product is created, if business is creating product, people are buying things and products have to be created for them, they have to be transported from the manufacturer to the retailer to the to the warehouse, to the store. They have to be transported. So that's what you can look at. And if if transportation jobs are going down, and I haven't looked at it, but if the transportation average is going down of the company, these transport companies, that means they have less to transport. So that is a bad economic indicator. And another indicator, actually, that you can look at, I don't know if it's an official indicator, but corrugated cardboard is also a good indicator, because all of these things, you order something from Amazon, it comes in a box, a cardboard box made out of corrugated cardboard. So if corrugated cardboard sales at the wholesale level to Amazon and people like that, if less corrugated cardboard is being sold and turned into boxes, that means that Amazon and any company, it doesn't matter what it is shipping. They're shipping less. They're shipping less product, so they don't need as many boxes. And I would finally, I'll end on this. I hope I haven't put too many of you to sleep with all these figures, but there's also the yield curve. Now, I wonder if I assume at least some of you know what the yield curve is, but in case you don't, there may be some newbies out there, so just bear with me while I explain it. But it's just the short-term interest rate, such as a 2-year treasury, and then you have the 10-year treasury, which is a long-term rate. And in a normal functioning, growing economy, the long-term rate is higher than the near-term rate. That's because, for the obvious reason, that if you buy a bond or something, that the risk is higher the longer you hold it. So if you hold something for 2 years, you're only going to hold it for 2 years, and you would have you would pay a certain interest rate. But if you're buying a 10-year bond, you would want a higher interest rate because you're going to be holding it. You'll be holding it for 8 years longer. There's more risk that the price of your interest rate could change, and you would go. That you could lose money. So that's why you want the higher, in a normal economy, the higher rate is at the long end. Now, when the economy is not so well, you get what you call an inverted yield curve, where the near-term rate, the 2-year rate, is higher than the long-term rate, and that tells you there's an expectation among investors, among the knowledgeable people, that the investment experts, that they see a problem coming with the economy, and they want to get their higher interest rate now because they worry about the interest rate falling lower. Because if you have to understand that prices and bond prices and interest rates move inversely. When the price, I don't want to get into, I've burdened you with enough facts for today. The point is that this is the important takeaway about an inverted yield curve, that it signals a possible, it's very early now, but we've had this inverted yield curve actually for several months too, believe it or not, and that's not getting reported. But you could look at a chart and you'll see that there's been an inverted long-term rates have been lower than short-term rates for a while now. That is one indicator of a possible recession. Okay, so that's the concern. We could be heading into a recession. I'm not saying we are. It's very early, but the possibility is there. And what's even worse, possibly, hope it doesn't happen because I lived through this in the 70s, and that is, as you can probably tell by looking at me, is what they call stagflation, where you have high interest rates and a slow economy, the two together. Usually you don't get both at the same time, and when you get both at the same time, just trust me, I lived through the 70s. It's really bad. You don't want to go through that again. And I guess that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Comments always welcome, especially if you're a financial expert, because this is what I know just from my armchair investing and investing just like the rest of you. And I'm not one of these people that just puts money in a 401k and forgets about it. I also invest in individual stocks, so I pay some attention, but I am by no means an economist. So any of you economists out there, Keynesians and non-Keynesians. So you Austrians and you Keynesians, so Keynesians. So we have a good debate going. That would really be welcome. But whoever you are, your comments are welcome. And if you could subscribe, really great. Thanks for stopping by. I would love to see all of you. Oh, share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.